This is TaskSpoon, the series where I aim to complete the collection log one random task at a time. After nearly 2 years and over 4,000 hours of gameplay, I'm finally ready to take on RuneScape's endgame as I venture into the elite tier. Welcome to Season 4 of TaskSpoon. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 140 of the TaskSpoon series. In the last video, I finished the raids task that I was on, where I ended up getting some Missouri chaps from TOA. I did a bunch of alchemical Hydra, where I got the last ring piece for a brimstone ring, finally. I did a bunch of other stuff, including 99 crafting and 99 slayer, and I ended by rolling another Mount Karul unique task, where I have a Hydra's task ready to go, where hopefully I can finally get this Hydra leather and get my ferocious gloves. But obviously, with my luck how it is so far, I'll probably end up with another Hydra tail instead. Either way, let's go do it. In the last video, I spent like 4.5 straight days killing Hydra and getting Hydra tasks. We are up to 954 KC, and we got 99 Slayer from it, so if we don't get the item on this task, we do have an extra chance that we get a back-to-back, but I'm just really hoping for this leather, man. 4 Hydra tails and no leathers is just like so sad to see on my log. I just need it, so let's go do it. In general, I actually think Alchemical Hydra is a fairly well-designed boss. I think it's exactly what a Slayer boss should be. It's not particularly hard. As long as you know the mechanics, you can avoid pretty much every instance of damage, and the drops are amazing, essentially just a money printer, as well as a few extremely valuable and useful uniques. But man, I've killed so much Hydra in the past few days. I am so sick of this boss, and knowing that this is essentially the last time I'm gonna need to kill it definitely feels pretty darn good. Obviously, I would have to come back here if I ever want the pet or the jar, assuming I don't get either of those before the leather, but just knowing that, like, this is the last time that I'm gonna need to come here for an item that I actually need, I don't know, it just feels good. It's sort of like how I just finished 99 Slayer. It's just sort of like finishing a chapter of the account, you know? Huh. I forgot that you could get those. That's cool. And that is going to be the end of that trip, just past 1000 KC here at Alchemical Hydra, and I have a nice little gameplay loop going here. I bring exactly 3 4-dose Divine Super Combat Potions, which means that my Hydra trip lasts exactly 1 hour, and then every hour I come back, I bank, and I go and do a farm run. That way I get to go through all of those Rune seeds that I've got in the bank, and then I just send it again. So every hour I'm getting my farm runs in, I'm doing hour-long trips at Alchemical Hydra. It's working out pretty well. Unfortunately, Rune weeds do not give a lot of herblore experience, but right now my priority is to farm all the herbs that I actually need for the potions. So Runes, snaps, anything that makes a super combat potion, range potion, brews, etc. So that is my current priority, and then after that is going to be all the potions that are more just good for herblore XP, but not super useful, so like Lantidimes and that kind of stuff, because I would like to get 99 herblore eventually, and that is a long ways away, even though I don't really need it for potions right now, but yeah, that's my priority list. That also gives me a chance to do any clues that I get from Hydra. Hydra can drop both hard clues fairly commonly and elite clues somewhat more rarely, but I seem to always have a clue by the end of a trip now, so yeah, it gives me a chance to do the clues, do my farm run, and then get back to Hydra. Wow, a PB, 132. So I think that I'm accidentally force spawning random events. Because I'm in the Alchemical Hydra room, which is an instance, for like an hour, and then I come out and do a farm run, and then I gain some experience out here. I don't know much about force spawning random events, but pretty much every single farm run, about halfway through, I get a random event. And I can't believe it's a coincidence. I need to look into this. So I think that exactly what I'm doing is what people are saying you're supposed to do if you want to try and spawn random events. Go in an instance for a fairly long period of time, and while you're in there, gain some experience, and then leave the instance and gain experience outside as well. And apparently that just, like, makes the game spawn a random event more often than not. So, yeah, I'm not complaining. I've got a bunch of the count checks so far, so I'm just getting free Herblore XP. Well, 7 hours later, and we are done the first Slayer task, 140 Hydras with no leather. Very sad. But now for the fun part, I'm going to use my Slayer Cape perk for the first time, and we're definitely going to get the 10%. We didn't get the 10%, okay. And just in case you thought I was crazy with the random event thing, I've got someone I'd like you to talk to. This is exactly what I was talking about in the last episode. I got a worms task, but it's in the other dungeon that only has the wormlings, and the wormlings don't drop the uniques, so this task is essentially now a 50-50 chance whether or not I get it in the right dungeon, which is really annoying, but yeah, that's gonna have to be a skip. Oh my god, finally, 188 Hydras in the Karum Slayer dungeon. I have been tutorial skipping for 6.5 hours, I think. I've got 7 worms tasks, all of them in the Nepotsli dungeon, aka the wrong dungeon, with no Hydras task. This had taken me forever. Finally, let's go do it. Oh! Why, hello and good morning to the gamers. Today, they released their notes on the new Varlamore group boss, and they said that there's going to be a potential reward, which is a secondary ingredient for a new Herblore potion, which is a prayer rejuvenation potion, so a prayer over time thing that is going to be used with Renar weeds. So now that I'm farming all my Renar weeds, which by the way, almost going to be at 3,500 after this farm run, I'm actually contemplating not making these all into prayer potions. I'm probably going to keep a bunch of these and make some of the new pots. One, I think the prayer rejuvenation thing is going to be cool. And two, I think that the prayer rejuvenation potions give more Herblore XP than a prayer pot. Prayer pots are actually really bad. They give 87.5 experience each, whereas I think these new ones said like 132. So I'm essentially getting like more than 50% XP out of each of these Renar weeds if I save them. So that's just something cool. Very coincidental that they would announce that as I'm farming through all of my Renar seeds, which by the way, I only have 16 left after this farm run. So that's pretty good. And in case you were curious, I just did the one trip at Hydra before I went to bed and then woke up, and that's when I saw the new thing on Reddit. So yeah, that's still got a lot to go. 160 something kills left on the task. Still very hopeful, but yeah, just gonna finish this and get back to it. What is that? No! Honestly, Dragon Throne Axes are like the worst item I could possibly get from Hydra. At least Dragon Knives I've used before at Leviathan and have like some value. Dragon Throne Axes, I don't think I ever have a purpose to use these anywhere, except for maybe if I have like a speed task that I'm trying to get that I need a 1-tick ranged weapon. But other than that, yeah, that's just not very good. Now, what is good is I am done farming all of my Renar seeds. I've got 7 left that I'm just going to save for contracts or something if I need them. And I have 3,700 Renar weeds. So that's pretty good. I got a lot of snape grass to make potions with, and then I'll have some leftovers for those new pots. And now I'm starting to farm my snape seeds, or my snap seeds rather. So yeah, that's just a little update. I think I've got like 40 kills left on this Hydra task, 53 kills left. So just gonna keep going. All right, I'll take an elite clue. No, I don't need that. And this is gonna do it for this Hydra's task. Unfortunately, still no leather. Now, at least I got a few cool drops that task. The Dragon Throne Axes, a few heads, another ring piece, but yeah, no leather. So we go again. Maybe we'll get the 10% this time. All right, wear the cape for good luck. Please be nice to me, Konar. And no. All right, back to tutorial skipping. All right, hello and good morning to all the cool cats and kittens out there. It is Wednesday, which means that it is game update day, and today's update is absolutely massive. I will not be going over everything because it would just take way too long, but I'm going to say a couple of the notable things, starting off with agility. They've done an entire agility rework where they've buffed XP rates on a lot of the courses, they've buffed marks of grace rates, they've made it so doing the achievement diaries actually gets you increased experience at a few of the courses, and not only that, but they have added a bunch of very cool shortcuts around the game, a couple of which I'm going to go run around and check out right now after I finish killing these skeletons. And most notably of those, they've added a Dagonoth Kings shortcut, which is something that people have been asking for a long time. In fact, I think they've added two of them, one where you get to actually skip the need for a pet rock and a rune throne axe, and one that just takes you through all the caves. So I'm going to go and check those out in a sec here. Couple other things they've changed is like Mage Training Arena. They've removed a bunch of the stalls on some of the spells, like Telekinetic Grab and Bones to Peaches, so those rooms should be less annoying. They've made the Alchemy room better. They made all the rooms better, essentially just making a bunch of quality of life changes that probably should have been there since the game released, but that activity was released in like 2004, so I guess that makes sense. And they changed a bunch of other things, but I want to show off this agility shortcut first. So now there's a shortcut up to the top here, these rocks right here, which means that you can go in there, which takes you right here, which is sick. Again, skipping the door and need for rune throne axes. And then if we climb down, I think there is a shortcut somewhere here. Give me a sec. Okay, it's right here. In the first rock crab room, there's this tunnel right here, which takes you down to essentially the last room before DKs. So you go down this ladder and then the DKs are right there. So now getting to DKs, instead of taking like 3-4 minutes, is going to take like 40 seconds. That's so amazing. That's honestly, I don't need to go to Dagonoth Kings like ever, essentially, for the rest of the account, unless I want the pets. But there is an elite clue step that you have to come down here. In fact, I think there's 2 elite clue steps down here. So that shortcut is just a huge time saver. There's also a shortcut in the northeast corner of Shiloh Village now, so you can get out and in through here, which I think is actually more important than people think. That's now the fastest way to get to the nature altar, taking the achievement cape to this place and then just going right here. This could make nature runecrafting really good experience. Now you don't have to run from all the way over here. I haven't actually like thought about it or tested it very much, but that is another very cool agility shortcut. And the last shortcut I wanted to show off was there's now a shortcut right here to get to the Taverley Tree Patch, which is kind of cool, but they didn't add a hole in the fence here. So even though you can skip the wall to actually get to the tree, you still have to run all the way around, which I think is like the most useless shortcut they could have possibly added. I was really hoping the shortcut would be like down here, which one would give faster access to the hot air balloon, which I personally don't need, but I felt like that would actually be sort of useful for people. And 2 would just make it faster. You know, you could actually take the cut here and run to the tree, as well as there's a bunch of clue steps in Taverley in general. So I was hoping this was going to be a faster way to get to those. But now this shortcut is... honestly, I don't know why they put it there. I think that's stupid. They either need to have put it here or add a hole in the fence there. But either way, just wanted to show that off. Either way, that's all the shortcuts I wanted to talk about, but there is a few more things in the update I wanted to cover. The next thing I wanted to mention, I feel like not many people are talking about it, but they sort of snuck this little update in here that says gnomes have had their pickpocket failure rate reduced and now have an uncommon chance to drop a medium clue scroll. Paladins have had their pickpocket failure rate reduced and now have a rare chance to provide a hard clue scroll. And heroes have had their pickpocket failure rate reduced and now have a very rare chance to provide an elite clue scroll. So you can now get medium, hard, and elite clues somewhat frequently from pickpocketing, which is really neat for someone like me. I don't know what the rates are going to be, especially for elite clues, but I would love to try out pickpocketing heroes for elite clues at some point. I'm hoping that maybe once I get 99 thieving and have the cape, maybe with the cape and all the other buffs, hero pickpocket rate might be high enough that you don't fail very much and could actually get elite clues somewhat frequently from pickpocketing, considering that so far my best way to get elite clues is about an elite clue every 2 hours at best. That might be a good option. So cool, I'll have to try that later. For now, not super relevant, but yeah, good update. The next change was unexpected, but extremely welcome. They have buffed the mining gloves. I was not expecting this at all, but essentially, instead of providing a chance to have your ore not deplete, you have a guaranteed ore not deplete for each mining glove. So for the first tier of mining gloves, you get iron, coal, gold, and silver. You get 1 extra. And then on the second tier, you get adamant, mithril, sandstone, and granite. You get 1 extra of those and 2 of the tier before. And then with the third tier of mining gloves, which are the ones that I have, the expert gloves, you get 1 extra on amethyst and rune, 2 extra on adamant, mithril, sandstone, granite, and 3 extra on iron, coal, gold, and silver. That's really good and completely changes like the mining meta. So I'm super happy about this. Completely unexpected. Again, I was not expecting this at all. But I've got a lot of mining left to do. I'm only 93. Although I do a lot of it at stars, this could be really useful. So cool, that's good too. And lastly, there's one more thing I wanted to cover. There's one sneaky little sentence here down in the other changes section that reads, "The coins and keys bequeathed by cremated shades in Morton now stay on the pedestals for 5 minutes rather than 30 seconds. Other players cannot take them during this time," which I'm going to take full credit for, because as you can see here, I actually asked Mod Ash if this was something they could do on Twitter. And then like 2 weeks later, they did it. So Mod Ash stays winning. Love him. Anyways, that's all I wanted to cover from the update. This was a huge update in terms of quality of life stuff, rebalancing stuff, etc. Even though there was no like new enemies, new items, new quests, none of that, it was still a massive update, and I think they did a great job with pretty much everything. So good job, Jagex. I'm excited to utilize all those shortcuts and everything, but for now, we continue. There actually is one more thing I'm going to cover, but I'll show it off in a bit. Also, if you guys want to let me know in a comment what you think of me covering the updates like that. I know that sometimes they can be a bit rambly, and my videos don't actually come out for like 2 weeks after the update comes out. But I feel like oftentimes when I cover the updates like I do, people will then leave comments and say like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that was in the updates. Cool." So I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. I think one of my favorite parts about getting 99 Slayer, I no longer feel bad about skipping these amazing tasks. 245 Dust Devils in the Catacombs. I have no need to do that anymore. So yes, I would like to skip it. And there it is, 169 nice Hydras in the Cruel Slayer dungeon. This one took me a couple hours today and maybe like an hour last night. Maybe 3 hours total, but not too bad all things considered. Let's go do it. Oh yeah, and before I forget, the last thing I wanted to show you guys, they finally updated this pipe so it's no longer like the worst agility shortcut ever. The pipe used to just take you over there, but it used to take about the same amount of time as just running. The only advantage was that you didn't get hit by the Hydras as you were running through. But now they finally updated the pipe so that it's actually like a shortcut. And it's actually fast, which is very cool and very nice. Alright, surely this is the task starting at 1,282 KC, 2.5 times the drop rate already. I believe this is it. Alright, first trip done here at Hydra, nothing cool really, but I did notice someone in the clan get something that reminded me that I have to go do too, so let me go do that. One of the other things they changed is to the Brimhaven Agility Arena. For starters, you no longer need to tag 2 pillars in a row, you get tickets for every pillar you touch, like this one. And now you get 2 tickets, one that you trade in for XP and one that you trade in for items. So you no longer have to choose between the 2. And now both of them are on the collection log. So I just had to go and touch it just to get it in there. So we've re-green logged Brimhaven Agility Arena. And let me go show you the store real quick. So this is the new store. As you can see, you can still get your XP with the Agility Arena tickets, which are the normal ones, and then they've added these Brimhaven vouchers, which is what you use for the other items, but I've already got the hook and the full recolor. But they also added the Amylase packs here, so you can actually get Amylase crystals from doing Brimhaven Agility Arena, and because you need 60 for 100, you get exactly 100 crystals per hour you're here, assuming you tag all of the pillars. So that's something to think about. I don't think it's better than doing rooftops most of the time, but maybe if you hate rooftop courses, you can get it here. Either way, we're done with that. I just wanted to re-green log it because it took like 2 seconds. And farm run and back to Hydra. So it turns out doing Hydra like all day, every day is not so great on the prayer potions. I'm down to about 700, or at least I was until I went and made all of the Renar weeds that I had available into prayer pots. So I actually have 3,000 of them. So that's pretty good. Hopefully that lasts me a while because, yeah, I did farm all of my Renar seeds. So I still have 1,000 left. I already said I'm going to save those for the other potions. But yeah, prayer pots made. We are going back. So it turns out doing Alchemical Hydra for like 8+ hours a day is very mentally draining. So I'm trying to find some things that I can do in my downtime to give myself a little bit of a break. And I noticed that after making all of those prayer potions, I was pretty close to an Herblore level. So I'm just going to make some super defenses and then some more super combats because I am going through those as well. And that should get me 95 Herblore and more importantly, give my brain a little bit of a break. Of course, I forgot to record it, but there is 95 Herblore. But it is an editing day for me today, so I'm going to be trying to make my way through the rest of these mahogany logs. I don't know if I'll be able to do all of them. I got 7,400 left in the bank, and I should have about 20,000 planks at the end of all this, which is very close to what I need for 99. I think that combined with the other planks that I have from other things, I should have 99 construction banked right here, which is very nice to see. But yeah, going to be AFKing, plank making, and editing. And while I've been editing, I've still been doing my farm runs, and I just noticed I'm actually through farming all of my Snapdragon seeds as well. I've got 2,200 Snapdragons ready to go, so that's pretty nice. And I think I'm going to start working my way through these Torstals. I have 149 Torstal seeds. This should really help with the super combats. Hi, hello, and good morning to the gamers. Yesterday, I didn't kill a single Hydra, too busy editing and doing other stuff. But I did make a lot of progress on my plank making and my Herblore stuff and my farm runs, so at least that's good. Today, I actually have time to go and kill Hydra once again, so I'm just going to do this farm run and then we'll head over there. I need to complete this task, man. This has been going on way too long. I'm hoping for some good luck today. I still have 97 Hydra kills left on this task, so maybe, hopefully we can get lucky. I don't know when the last time I showed my log is. It's been a long time for me. These last few days have gone by very slowly, but 1354 KC, so here we go. Let's do it. Oh, I love the new speed of the shortcut. It's so nice. If you're watching this video the day that it gets published, today is actually my birthday. So if you want to get me a nice little birthday present, you should check and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe leave me a like, maybe a comment. And in fact, if you have YouTube Premium, you should check if you have a free YouTube membership. A lot of people don't know that with your YouTube Premium, you get one free membership per month to a channel. So you should check if you have that available. Thank you. Okay. Not exactly what I was looking for, nor is it useful, like, at all for me, but, you know, at this point, any drop is cool to see, especially considering how dry I am on ring pieces, so I guess that's slowly working towards that, but, yeah, not what I wanted. No! Back-to-back unique drops and I get Fang and Throne Axes. Why, game? In case you were curious, the Dragon Throne Knives and Dragon Throne Axes from Alchemical Hydra are both a 1 in 2,000 drop chance, and I've gotten 2 Dragon Throne Axe drops at this point. That's 4 times rarer than the leather, and I've gotten 2 of them. Twice as rare as the claw. Like, I don't even know how this happens, but here we are. No, I was typing, what the heck? I don't need this. All of a sudden, my Hydra luck's like turning around a little bit. That's a second ring completed, and yet I still don't have the leather. And this is going to be the last kill of that Slayer task. Unsurprisingly, and no leather for me. 1451 KC. But all hope is not lost. Let me go get my Slayer cape and try and see if we can get the back-to-back. And put it on for good luck. Konar, please be nice to me. Very sad. Alright, farm run and then mortorial skipping. As I was complaining about not having the Hydra leather yet, someone pointed out to me how similar this is to the Basilisk Jaw incident, and I am straight up not having a good time anymore. I just sort of put the two together and I'm like, wow, it is sort of exactly the same. I'm hunting for a task in between. I'm going after a rare drop. The Basilisk Jaw is 1 in 1,000. This is 1 in 500. But for the Basilisk, I could get about 60 kills per hour. This is in the low 20s. Currently, I'm about 3 times dry. For the Basilisk Jaw, I went almost 6 times dry. And if I have to do this, essentially all of the kills that I've done already again, I'm gonna be very sad. So I'm hoping for some good luck. I still do have to go and get a task, but yeah, thank you to the person that pointed that out to me. I will never be able to unsee that now. Now, as much as I've been complaining, Hydra is really good for a few things, most notably just raw GP, Herblore XP, and Prayer XP. Now, everyone knows Hydra's good for coins. It has just high coin drops themselves, as well as a bunch of alks, but it also drops a bunch of dragon bones. I have over 5,000 dragon bones from Hydra alone. Now, this does include my kills from before this task, but yeah, 5,000 dragon bones, not to mention just the Hydra bones from the Bone Crusher itself. And then also Herblore XP. I've got thousands of herbs from this thing. I didn't even really realize it. They just sort of stack up over time. I'll put a screenshot on screen here in my loot tracker, but yeah, it's just crazy for how much XP you get. Banked XP for Prayer, Herblore, and just a bunch of other supplies. I mean, a bunch of seeds as well. It is just a good boss for drops. Now, I am getting a little sick of it, and I can't wait to move on and never look back, but yeah, I can't complain too much. It is pretty good. A lot better than Basilisk, that's for sure. Hello and good morning to the gamers. It has been 2 full days since I've recorded anything, and that's because my luck has been pretty terrible. I have not got a single Hydra's task, nor worms in the Chrome dungeon, and I've just been tutorial skipping and doing my farm runs every hour, and yeah, I've probably played like 14 or 15 hours in the past 2 days and just got nothing. So I'm just going to continue, figure I'd update you guys. I went through all my Torstal seeds and I made them all into super combats. So I've got almost 2,500 super combats, which is crazy to see in the bank there. And I've also done a little bit more Herblore. I'm close to an Herblore level, so I might just go ahead and get that. But yeah, we're just going to keep going, doing the things, tutorial skipping, farm runs, Herblore, you know how it is. Hopefully we can get lucky soon. And literally the first Konar task of the day, worms in the Chrome Slayer dungeon. Not exactly what I wanted. I really do want the Hydra leather, but I can't pass up an opportunity for the Dragon Harpoon. And at this point, anything is better than tutorial skipping, so let's go do it. And unsurprisingly, no Dragon Harpoon, although I did enjoy the break from the tutorial skipping, but yeah, we go again. Well, apparently it's true. All you have to do is complain and the game will give you what you want. This is literally 2 tasks after that worms task and I already get another Hydra's. Let's go. Okay, here we go, back at Hydra finally. I know for you guys it hasn't been that long, but for me it's been a few days, so I gotta remind myself. We are at 1451 KC. That's kind of sad. But hopefully we can get at this task. 174 Hydras, and I'm even bringing a Bracelet of Slaughter. We'll see how often I actually remember to swap to that, but yeah, here we go. Let's get lucky. So I was eating dinner and I figured now would be a good time to start working my way through some of these Herblore supplies, and I got 96 Herblore, which sounds like really good. Sounds very close to 99, but I did use most of what I had available. I have a bunch of Snapdragons, but I just have no like red spider's eggs to use with them. And other than that, I mean, I'm still working my way through. But yeah, 96 Herblore doesn't really do anything for me other than lets my boost last a bit longer when I'm making some of the higher potions. So yeah, just going to continue and finish my dinner. By the way, for all the people wondering why I didn't start using the Bracelet of Slaughter earlier, for starters, I ran out of them and ran out of red topaz and didn't really feel like going and making more. And for 2, I kind of just hope that if I didn't use them, it would just sort of like force the game into giving me the item earlier. I know that doesn't make any logical sense, but I was just sort of hoping. And 3, I don't know, I'm just sort of lazy and I like forget half the time anyway, and it's just another thing I need to bring in my inventory. I don't know, I know I probably should have been like the whole time, probably would have made the task a little bit faster, but at this point, whatever. One of the reasons that I often forget to swap to my bracelet at Alchemical Hydra, in the last phase, you're always on your prayer book because you need to swap prayers every attack, and usually I remember to swap to the bracelet because I see it in the inventory and I just click on it. But because the prayer book is up, I often don't remember it, so I've just gone ahead and added this little screen marker here, so in this phase I can remember to just swap to my inventory and click it as the boss dies, and I found that really helps reminding me of to actually swap to it, like right now. No! Why? The loot beam baited me so hard, man. That's actually so messed up. Like, dragon knives are a 1 in 2,000 drop, 4 times as rare as the leather. And I've got a dragon knives and a dragon throne axe drop. Like, this is so sad. By the way, we did pass 3 times the drop rate officially. Technically, the leather is 1 in 514, so 1542 was 3 times the drop rate. I'm just so sad, man. I just want to do anything else. Sorry, I just remembered, we actually have 2 1 in 2,000 Dragon Throne Axe drops and 1 in 2,000 Dragon Knife drop. I'm so sad. So, not gonna lie, I got a little bit tilted at the Dragon Knives thing, and I decided to go and get some food, and one of the things that I've been doing is just chopping some maple longbows anytime I have a little bit of free time, like when I'm eating, and I got 91 fletching! Yay! In case you hadn't noticed, I am sort of doing what I talked about in the last episode, where I am letting myself go and do a few of the skills that I don't normally get to do, but instead of making it its own episode, I'm just going to include it in this one, and that way, whether or not I get the leather, I can put an episode up on time here at least. Now, I'm really hoping that I do manage to get it, but if not, at least I've done some other things and made some progress, as well as it gives me some nice and well-needed breaks from Hydra. So I think next, I am going to go back to Hydra right now, but the next thing I want to do is I need to go and thieve some Vires. My Blood Fury is running out of charges. I think I have like 1,000 left. 1,200 left, yeah. So I think next I'm going to go do some pickpocketing some Vires, but I'm done eating, so let's go kill some Hydra. Well, it's not a blood shard, but it is 97 thieving. I was already pretty close to a level. I've only been here for like an hour and a half, but yeah, just trying to get one more of these blood shards. I think I've decided that hopefully now I have 2 objectives for the video. For starters, obviously I want to get that Hydra leather, but I also want to try and get to 2,200 total, which means that I need 6 more miscellaneous levels, and I don't really have an exact plan of what I'm gonna get. I just assume that by letting myself do these other things that I'll probably end up getting there. Alright, hello and good morning to the gamers once again. I did about 2,000 pickpockets at the Vires last night with no luck on a blood shard. Unfortunately, today there is a game update that really doesn't change much for me. The only interesting things that I found in the update, they released the rates as well as buffed the rates for the clues from the new pickpocketing NPCs. So gnomes are 1 in 150 for a medium, paladins are 1 in 1,000 for a hard, and heroes are 1 in 1,400 for an elite clue. And yes, that is after the buff. Which is not very good. I think considering heroes are about the same level of Vires, I'll be getting about 540 pickpockets an hour at heroes, which means that an elite clue would take like 3 hours, which isn't bad, but not very good either, and honestly just not very worth it. I really wish that they either made heroes have a higher success rate or made the elite clue rate even lower, but either way, the rest of it's not super interesting, so we're just going back to it. Farm run back to Hydra. As I've been going about my day, killing Hydra, doing my farm and birdhouse runs, I've been trying to plan what the 6 easiest levels for me to get would be to get to 2,200 total, which right now is looking like probably another prayer level, depending on how many dragon bones I've got from Hydra. A hunter level, because I've been doing birdhouse runs, this is only like 2 hours of hunter rumors, so that'd be pretty easy. And then probably going to end up getting a bunch of construction levels. That's one of the things that I said I've been wanting to do, and I've made a bunch of mahogany planks to go and use at mahogany homes. So I think that's sort of my plan, is going to be a prayer, a hunter, maybe another level here and there, and then the rest all in construction. So yeah, that's sort of my goal at this point. We have like 50 something kills left on the Hydra's task. I'm just waiting for these herbs to grow in a minute. But yeah, that's sort of my plan. It's done! I've done it! Let's go! Oh my god, finally! Oh, I'm so pumped. Oh my god, yes! That actually scared me. You know when you're dry on an item and like kills stop meaning anything? Like you stop getting excited that you might get a drop because you just assume that it's not going to happen? Well, I reached that point a long time ago, and just for some reason on that trip, I was like, I did 2 kills that trip, and both kills I was like, I don't know why, I just feel good about this. And then we've done it, Hydra leather, oh my goodness, 1,598 KC. Oh, it feels so good. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the task in general. I want to show you the loot, I want to show you some other stats, but first, we got to go make the gloves. So, I'm pretty sure all I have to do is use this on here, make some ferocious gloves. I've never actually done this before, I didn't know it had an animation, but there we go, best in slot melee gloves acquired. So the Baron's gloves are obviously amazing hybrid gloves, but the ferocious gloves just beat them out in all the melees, +2 melee strength and +4 to all attack bonuses. But as you can see, they have no other bonuses. They in fact have negative magic and range attack and 0 defense. So these are purely just offensive melee gloves, which is exactly what I want, like most of the time that I'm doing melee. So that is very good, but more importantly to me at least, one of the main reasons I was looking forward to having these, I know this is going to seem like kind of a minor thing to a lot of people, but anytime I've been doing raids, when I do my gear swaps, I had to use Barrow's gloves for both melee and range. So when I would do my gear swaps, eventually my gear would sort of get messed up in my inventory. But now that I have different gloves for each style, when I do my gear swaps, everything just sort of stays in the same place in my inventory. Which, I don't know why, but that just makes me happy. I know it's just like a really minor thing. Obviously, I should be more happy about the upgrade, but I don't know. That just, something about that's just so satisfying. The only problem is I have to use the Bofa, and therefore when I do my range swap, there is like an empty spot there. But at least everything else just sort of stays where it is, and I love that. Now, let's talk about the task overall real quick. I'll put the loot on screen here. It's actually so big, I don't even know if I'll fit it on screen, but as you can see, 1598 KC. I don't have just the loot for this task, so it's combined with all of my alchemical Hydra kills, but 233 mil worth of GP, 5,400 dragon bones. Obviously, I got the claw and the leather, bunch of alks, bunch of herbs, bunch of cool and useful stuff on there, so that's good to see. And yeah, ended at 1598 KC. I started this task on 912 KC, so I ended up doing 686 kills this task, and combined with everything, just over 3 times the drop rate. All things considered, honestly, one of the best bosses to go dry at. I mean, the loot is just crazy. And so many supplies. I've already used a bunch of the herbs, which is what helped me get to that 96 herb lore. I'm about to go and use the rest of the bones that I have. I'm really hoping that I have enough for 95 prayer. And yeah, I don't know. It was a long one. I need to go and check the date that I actually rolled this task, but I think I've been on it for about 2.5 weeks, which, considering the Basilisk Jaw incident, I guess it could be a lot worse, but I'm just so happy to be done. Best in slot melee gloves, and we're moving on. Now, the best part about it is I finished this task in time, in the sense that I have about a day and a half until the latest point I need to start editing, which means that I have about a day and a half to go and finish the rest of my goals. Like I said, I'm going to try and get 2,200 total still, and so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with prayer, see how far I can get with that. I'm going to go over and do some hunter rumors. There was an update to the hunter rumors today, which makes master rumors more viable, and in fact, finally, master rumors are now the best XP per hour with a setup block list. So I'm going to go and try and set up a block list and do some hunter rumors, maybe get a level or 2 there, and then the rest of it, I'm going to use some of these mahogany planks and probably get a couple construction levels. So that's what we got in store for the rest of the video. I am going to go start with prayer. Well, I'm definitely going to have enough bone shards for 95 prayer, even before the zealot robe procs. I already have enough, and I've got 700 more bones to chisel, so that is not a concern at least, which is nice. You guys have no idea how relieved I am. Like, even just doing this, just like spam clicking, crushing these bones, I just have the biggest smile on my face. I can still like see the image of the Hydra leather on the ground, like burned into my retinas, along with the like 46.3k coins or whatever it was. Like, I can just see it, and every time my brain thinks of it, I smile. It just feels so good to be done a long grind like that. That, and now I don't have to go back to Hydra until I want to go for the pet or the jar, which is going to be a long time in the future. So I never have to think about Hydra again, and that feels amazing. So assuming completely average luck on the zealot pieces saving me bone shards, I have 893,000 XP ready to go. And yeah, I only need 582k. So easily going to get to 95 and definitely not going to get to 96. Oh yeah, and in case you were wondering, there is a bar right over here. This is the teleport into the Civitas Illifortis. And then you just run over there, go to the bar, buy a full inventory of wines, come over here, go to the Tiamat, bless them, and go and use the shards. Before, I made a bunch of wines and had them in the bank. Now, I don't even bother with that. It's just easier to do this. So then, between inventories, I teleport back to my house, refill all my stats, my prayer, and my run at my pool, and then I have the Civitas teleport in my portal nexus. Just take that and repeat until I run out of bone shards. And here it is, 95 prayer. We've done it. I'm just going to go through the rest of these bone shards while I'm here. Alright, that's going to do it for now. 1,600 shards left, not going to bother with those. 33% of the way to another level, still 600k away though, so definitely not getting that. And moving on. I don't know what I want to do next yet. So I think I'm just going to go and do some construction training, at least for now. I don't really know what else I want to do, and I've already got all these planks in the bank ready to go. I do need to make some steel bars, but other than that, we can get started. And then when I want to AFK, I've got some maple longbows and bowstrings that I can string, and I've got some bars that I could smith. I've got a bunch of stuff that I could do, but I'm going to go make some steel bars at Blast Furnace, and then we'll start some construction. So I finished making all the steel bars that I'm going to need for my construction, and I decided that I might as well get a smithing level as one of my levels while I'm here. So I'm just doing some gold rune hybrid, which if you don't know what that is, it's essentially just doing the regular gold method with the goldsmith gauntlets, but you also bring an inventory of coal each time, and then anytime you have more than 104 coal in the blast furnace, you just do a single inventory of runite ore and make some rune bars as well. It's just better XP, and it also helps me get through all the rune ore that I'm going to need to smelt. So yeah, I'm just going to do this until I get one smithing level. So I reset the XP tracker to try and see what sort of XP rates I was getting here doing this method, and as you can see down the bottom, I'm sort of plateauing around 270k XP an hour, which is like really good. It means I have essentially one more hour of this and I'll get my level, so yeah, that's really easy. Let's do it. And just like that, just over an hour later, 91 smithing. And I also got through all of my rune and a bunch of my adamant, as well as I made all the steel bars, made a bunch of gold bars. That was great. I love it. Let's go do the constructing. So I'm going to be doing mahogany homes for all of my construction training. I feel like on an Iron Man, that's sort of like the only option, just to make sure you get the most XP per plank, and that way I don't have to spend a bunch of extra money getting 99 construction. So yeah, that's the plan. And I'm probably going to be doing this for all 3-4 levels. I'm not exactly sure yet. I am pretty close to a hunter level. I've been doing my birdhouse runs, so I may end up getting the last level there. But going to do at least 3, maybe 4 levels here, and yeah, just going to do it. So after about 10 minutes of focusing, seeing what kind of XP rates I can be expecting here, I think I'm getting about 230k XP an hour, which is pretty good. I was hoping for a little bit more, but I guess I can't really complain. I will say, Mahogany Homes is by no means my favorite activity. In fact, I don't really like it at all, but I like it so much more than regular construction. I think doing regular construction training is my least favorite skill to train, and I was so happy when they added a more thematic and engaging way to train construction. I don't know, I hate the, just building something and removing it over and over again in your house. I find that so boring. At least this has you, going around and building things. I don't know. I always think it's so funny when people talk about their least favorite skills, and 90% of the time they talk about either agility or rune crafting or whatever, and I'm like, I love agility, I love rune crafting, but make me do normal construction training? No thank you. Oh, I definitely remember to record that. 91 construction. Why, hello and good morning to the gamers, but this time I actually mean it. It is a good morning because I have a Hydra leather in my bank. Well, I guess I have ferocious gloves in my bank, and today is the last day before I need to start editing this video, so I am going to try my best to do all of my goals. As you can see, yesterday I did about 860,000 construction experience, and today I need to get 3 more levels. Definitely going to get 1, probably 2 more construction levels, and then maybe a hunter level, and we'll be done. Hopefully I can do that all today, but just going to start with a farm run. Initially, my hunter plan was to go and do some more hunter rumors, now that they've changed the way it works and buffed the master rumors, but turns out that according to people online, it could take 6 to 7 hours to set up a proper block list for master rumors, and I don't really feel like doing that. So I think instead I'm just going to keep doing this, doing my farm runs and my birdhouse runs every hour as well, and then once I'm 1 level away, I'll go and swap over to some hunter, and I think I'm just going to go and do some herbivore, based on the fact that I only need 300,000 experience. I think that's 2 hours at herbivore at my level, so yeah, I think that's the plan. I'm going to keep doing this and then go and do some herbivore. Whoa, look at this guy actually remembering to record a construction level. 92 construction. So I did the math, and according to the XP rates that I'm getting, it's going to take me around 30 hours to get to 99 construction, assuming that doesn't include the time to make the rest of the planks that I'm going to need. And I'm actually having a lot of fun doing anything that isn't Hydra, but doing these miscellaneous skills, so much so that I think in the next episode I might continue this sort of plan of letting myself go and do some miscellaneous things. Continuing the blood shard thieving, continuing the construction training, continuing the farming and herb lore grind, and doing a couple other things that I've mentioned before. So I think that might be my plan for the next episode. I think it depends on which task I roll, and I'll try and fit in a few tasks here and there as well, but I'm really enjoying doing this sort of miscellaneous skill training mixed in. And in fact, if you want to let me know what you think of that in the comments, this is going to be one of the few times that I'm actually going to be able to react to your guys' feedback in a timely manner. Because this video has gone up so late or has been delayed so much, I'm going to start editing tomorrow and it's going to go up the next day. So I'll actually be able to change what I do in the episode and react to your guys' feedback pretty quickly. So let me know what you think in the comments. And a few more hours of construction later, we've done it. 93 construction, 2199 total. And like I said, I think I am going to go and do 1 hunter level and then we'll wrap it up there. So I need 304,000 experience to get to 93 hunter. So essentially that's just going to amount to 2 hours of herbivore, assuming I can get about 150k an hour. I don't know what it is at my hunter level, to be honest, but I'm just going to start and watch this hockey game. By the way, as you can see here, just over an hour in, and I was pretty much exactly spot on. 150k XP an hour, though I got about an hour left. Well, the hockey game isn't going so great, but you know what, it is going great? This hunter level, 93 hunter, 2200 total. I've done it. Let's go. Sadly, for some reason, I sort of feel like 2200 total is like sort of not as cool as 2000, mostly because they don't have a West Coast North America server for the 2200s, so I don't actually get to use any of the new worlds, at least if I want the best ping, and it's so close to max, it just feels like this isn't even really a milestone, really just maxing is, but it is still cool. Maybe I'll end up using the 2200 total worlds for something, but yeah, I'm just happy to have it done. So that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this video has well over 100 hours of gameplay. I was trying to do the math, but it turns out that it's just, you know, there's so much randomness to it, but even just considering getting about 20 kills per hour at Hydra, 686 kills is going to take me like 35 hours, then another like 30-something hours just to get the task, plus another 10-something hours of farming in there, plus a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff. So if that doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. In the next video, we'll roll our next task, and I'll probably end up doing more miscellaneous stuff. Like I said, I think I've deserved a little bit of a break from the tasks, so I might do a little bit more construction and maybe some thieving for a blood shard and other miscellaneous stuff that I've been meaning to do. But other than that, that's going to be it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. I want to give a big thank you to all of my channel members, but a special thank you to my Tier 3 Big Spoon channel members, Alchemist BTW, Jack Staumer, Zach Martin, Luxitaire, Tony Adkins, Dolph, and Fading Shadow. And if you want to see your name here in the credits for the rest of the season, consider becoming a channel member. The lowest tier is only $2 a month, and it really helps me out. Thank you.